don't even know where I am. I'm just going to die here on this rock.
Is he alive? My big brother's not going to come back home with us.
The next day I know there's some kind of animal on top of me.
Right at that moment, he just growled. I growled right back. He says, Mark, I don't want to die, Mark. I don't want to die.
Camping with the Pattersons is really fun. I felt like this is going to be the best week of my life. This is going to be awesome.
I'm happy when Colton's happy, and when he's going camping, he's in his glory. That's what he lives for, is to go camping with the Pattersons. Mark and Terry are very, very good woods people, and I'd never have a second thought about letting Colton go hiking or biking or camping overnight with them.
We go quite a few times a year, and I'm pretty close to them. I'm like their adopted son.
Colton is, like, to me, kind of a brother.
When we're all together, Terry, Lara, Colton, and I, we're one great team. I have a beautiful place, 4 acres, a nice cabin, up in the mountains in the middle of nowhere.
In ways, we're very remote and isolated, no cell phone service. It's quiet, there's not a lot of people that go out there. We could run into any animal at any given time of day. Black bears we see at least twice, 3, 4 times a month. They literally can be watching you for days, and you don't even know that they're there.
That day, we decided to go motorbiking, and we had fun. We went for a motorbike ride up on Carson Mountain, and we had a great day.
I was feeling like I was part of the sky, like I was like floating on air. It was awesome.
We came home for supper, and Terry cooked us up a great big meal, and we just enjoy a good meal out in the forest.
I was the first one finished, and I had to go to the bathroom. I'm on my way to the outhouse. All of a sudden, I heard rustling in the bushes. I just thought, okay, it's the wind. But then I heard branches, like twigs snapping in half. I was really freaked out. I just turned just in time. My face hit the ground and it rattled all my teeth loose. Like the next thing I know, like there's some kind of animal on top of me. I tried punching it. Both hands just punching it on in the face. But didn't really do all that much. All I could really see is just red. My eye sockets were like covered in blood. All I could think about is, I'm gonna die.
I prefer night fishing. Tend to catch more fish at night than what we do during the day. Me and Robbie have been fishing together for about 5 years now.
For me, Sal's always been a good friend, and he's always been by my side when I've needed him. And I can always call Sal at any time, and I can always count on him to be there for me if I need help.
My brother Rob is very outgoing. He loves fishing because it allows him to, kick back and relax. Hours and hours and hours of fishing, and they would stay longer if they didn't catch any fish, just to catch a fish at least.
Plan was to go out for about 2-3 hours of fishing. Probably about 11 at night, we started to get ready. It's very old boat, I don't even know why we took it out. Very hard to see on that river at night, very low visibility, not many lights at all.
The water was quiet, but you could hear noises coming through the bush.
We were like 10 kilometres up the river when they started to rain. It was already cold as it is, and adding to it rain, no protection with the boat, so I was like, great, we're going to turn back now and head back.
And as we're heading back, the boat stopped. It just felt like something had hit the propeller. It was just like a bang. So we're trying to get the boat started. We had no luck, and because we were trying to start the boat so much, the battery died out.
It was just like a nightmare. I was like, here we go. What am I going to do here? It's not even my boat. There's no power. I'm not even close to where we're going to be.
Me and Robbie decided one of us has to walk to the car, get the battery out of the car battery, and bring it back to the boat.
I could start to hear the sounds of the animals in the background. It could be a mullet fish, could be anything, but it also could be something more dangerous, like a snake, especially at night where you can't see water snakes or crocodiles. And you can hear stuff in the woods as well, like little insects and animals and things like that.
My worst fear was coming across a snake. I said to Robbie, this is too dangerous for any of us to go through. I think we should maybe call someone. He goes, who are we going to call? I said, I don't know. We didn't want to trouble anyone. We thought we can get to the car, no problem. Robbie said to me, he goes, look, I've been here during the day. I'm pretty sure I can go through.
Thought I better go and he could stay in the boat and look after the boat. I just kept thinking snake or crocodile, like everything's gone bad, so this is just it. I'm just going to get off the boat now. Something bad's going to happen again. It's just gone from worse to worse. My heart was pounding. I remember turning back and just looking at the boat from far. It just looked so surreal, like what was happening. I couldn't believe that. The boat's there, it's tired. It's broken down, and I'm in the bush now, and this is what we're going to do. I'm actually going to be walking through here, and I'm going to leave him there. I was basically walking in the dark and in bush, soaking wet with my feet in mud. Anything could have happened. The main thing I thought when I first started to walk was getting bitten by a snake. At that point, I looked around, and I turned what I instantly thought was the back way where the boat was, to see if I could still see Sal in the distance. I couldn't see anything but trees and bush. My fear then was that I'm going to get lost, or I am lost, and now my fear is, which direction do I take? Where the hell do I go? I walked faster and faster, and then I remember I slipped. And then I crash fall into the ditch there. I had to get all these cobwebs off my face and stuff. I just went into panic mode. I felt something fall on my hand. And I just thought it was something that fell out of the tree. I felt a bit of pain in my hand. So then I knew something bad had happened. I knew something had bitten me.
heard this big thump. To me, it was an unusually loud thump. It was just something abnormal. It wasn't right.
Mom says, Larry, no, you should go look, because he doesn't weigh that much for that thump. So I walk over to the top of the hill and I look down, and my first reaction was, it was our big giant dog, Otto. And I took another look and I said, no, that's not Otto. So I immediately turned to Mom and I said, Mom, there's something really big on Colton. She looked down and she yelled immediately, Mark, cougar.
Of course, that scared me, and I got up and I started to run over immediately. What I seen was a horrible sight. I seen this cougar on top of Colton, and he was just gnawing on Colton's head. And he's pulling on him, and he's hurting him. And that cougar was out to eat that boy. I became a different person. I knew right then at that moment I had to do something about this. I kicked this cougar in the head hard as I could. It didn't even flinch. The cougar didn't even move an inch. He just kept on gnawing and ripping on Colton's head. I got down on my hands and knees and I grabbed him by the neck and I choked him as hard as I could. I squeezed with all my might. I just hung on for my life. Just like that, suddenly the cougar just let go. There was just blood everywhere on his body, and he wasn't moving. I thought, this boy's dead.
All I wanted to see was him just to get up and run, or just to show some life. I was just so scared that
I didn't think he was gonna come back. But just like that, all of a sudden, he got up and he started to crawl, and blood was dripping. And I said, run, Colton, run.
Colton got up and ran right into my daughter's arms. Lara was there with a blanket, and I said, go in the truck, go in the truck. It was such a relief. It was just. But then Mark was tangling with the cat.
And then this cat, he just slid out of my hands. And I flipped around as fast as I possibly could, and that cat was looking at me straight in the eyes. He was out to kill.
When I grabbed the branch as I was slipping, I felt something fall on my hand, and I just thought it was something that fell out of the tree. I felt a bit of pain in my hand. Within seconds, my hand started to swell and I started to get a lot of pain. And a minute after that, I started to sweat a lot. I couldn't breathe properly. This wasn't just something that's fallen out of the tree and hit me. I knew something has happened, something's gone wrong. I thought then it was a snake, maybe a tree snake or something like that. My whole body was numb. It's like when you hold your breath from the water and the last few seconds when you just need to get up, so it was just like that. The pain very rapidly progressed into my arm, to the top of my arm. And I was starting to get dizzy, so I was sort of losing consciousness. I just felt so helpless at that moment. And I remembered that I had a cell phone. Somehow I managed to call 000, which is the emergency call there, like 911. Put the phone on speaker. A female answered the phone, and she was actually very helpful because I couldn't speak, so she pretty much took the words out of my mouth. I told her I'd been bitten, I'm in bush. I kept saying bush and bitten. And she's like, just give me your location, tell me where you are. I don't remember telling her the location, so I think I must have left the phone on. At the point when I was losing consciousness, the only thing I was thinking about because of the severity was staying alive. I didn't want to die, especially in the bush there. I want to get married one day, I want to have kids, you know. There's things I want to do in life. I don't want to die at the age of 26. The rescuers, I don't even know where I am. They're going to take too long to find me. Sal wasn't there, I couldn't see the boat. And I'm just going to die here on this rock. Everything just went black.
I just did it. I went in there and kicked that cougar's ass. I was saving that boy, and if I died, as long as that boy was okay, that's okay. I had to beat this cougar so it would not hurt anybody else. And he slipped out of my hands, and he was poised right behind me in the jump position.
I thought the cougar was going to jump up and get Mark. All in my mind was, I've got to get something to help Mark. So I went down there with this meat cleaver, and I'm standing behind Mark, and I thought, well, if this cat comes at Mark, I'm going to just cut his head in half.
I turned around as fast as I could, and I faced him, and I could have touched him on the nose. That's how close he was. He looked up at me. Right at that moment, he just growled. I growled right back. I growled right back at him like a big, mean grizzly bear. Come on, let's see what you got. I'm ready for you. You want to fight with me? Come on, bring it on. This is my place. You're in trouble. Realizing the cougar was not going to attack at that moment, we just slowly backed off, making big, big noises and waving our arms in the air, trying to scare this cat away. It didn't scare it. He just stood there and he growled at us more and more. But we were able to escape into our truck. We drove out of our yard like crazy.
160 kilometers an hour down that road. And it's a winding road, and I thought, I can't slow down, because if I slow down, this boy is going to bleed to death.
Colton is bleeding everywhere. There's blood just draining out all over his skull and his face. It's just one huge, big bloodbath.
I pretty much seen his skull, and there was blood dripping everywhere, so I had to grab the back of his head and pull it over so it was in the front again.
He's in and out of consciousness, and then he looks up at me. He says, "Mark, I don't want to die, Mark. I don't want to die." And I said, "Colton, you're not going to die, buddy." At this point in time, we didn't know, though. He had lost so much blood.
It was awful. And I just drove as fast as I could to get him there. And the truck felt like it was floating. I was driving so fast. And then when we got there, nobody was at the police station. There was nobody around.
I'm on the boat waiting for Robbie. After 15 minutes, Robbie hasn't come back. I start to worry. Has he fallen? Has he broken a leg? Has he been bitten by something? Because there's snakes, there's spiders, there's all sorts of creatures in that bush there. I start screaming out his name, Robbie, Robbie, Robbie. But I'm not getting a reply. I was trying to call him on the phone. My phone's telling me that he's on call waiting. So I'm thinking to myself, obviously, look, he's on the other line to somebody. If there was something wrong with him, he wouldn't be on the phone. So I've decided to send him a text. If you don't answer your phone, I'm going to come to look for you. I was panicking because I'm stranded, we're both stranded. What's so important for you to be on the phone to somebody else? And I didn't get a reply. I haven't seen anything, I haven't heard anything. I know something's wrong. I decided to jump out of the boat. It was dark, pitch black. It was very frightening, not knowing what's around me, what's surrounding me. As I'm walking through, I'm walking through branches and cobwebs and it's going over my face, in my hair. I can barely see anything. Robbie! Am I going to get bitten by a spider? Is something going to come on me? Robbie! Now, he might be that injured that he can't shout out, he can't scream out. I knew no matter what happens, I need to get to him. But I couldn't find him because the bush was so dense.
It was late at night. I was in my room hanging out. My mum answered the phone. The way Mum was talking just made me worry. I can tell that there was something wrong. She said that Robbie had called 000 and that he's been bitten by something. The police, they don't know where he is and they don't know what's bitten him. It's starting to really scare us. Where is he?
We got to the police station and no one was there. Me and Mum are going and knocking on all the doors.
And this man and lady came and they must have been in the back, and it was an off-duty police officer. And I said, I need an ambulance. Colton has been attacked by a cougar and he's bleeding to death.
It's chaos for them because the policemen that were there have never witnessed or been part of anything like this. There was so much blood. It was just absolutely crazy. The ambulances are on their way right away. Meanwhile, Colton is lying there, going in and out of consciousness. Was he passing out or was he dying? We didn't know. I was just hoping, giving him all the life I could so he would stay with us. I squeezed him even harder. I hope for the best.
I've got to phone Robin, Colton's dad. And that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, was to do that.
And the phone rings. I pick up the phone and I hear Terry Patterson's voice, and it doesn't sound very good. And first thing she says is, Robin, I'm sorry. I go, what are you sorry for? And she says, Robin, and she's crying at this point. And she says, Colton got attacked by a cougar. I said, what? She says, I'm sorry. He got attacked by a cougar. Oh my God.
Finally, paramedics arrived. They said he's lost an incredible amount of blood. We don't know what the end results are going to be. We have to get him to the hospital.
I wanted to go say goodbye. So I didn't know if I was going to see him again. So I went outside and I seen him and I said, goodbye, Colton. I'll see you in a week. So my mom went in the ambulance. I immediately turned to Mom and I said, Mom, please don't let him die.
My worst fear was that what if, he was already dead and they hadn't found him. I didn't know what to expect, but I kept expecting the worst. I just jumped in my car and went up there to see what was going on. I was so scared. I just wanted to get there in time.
Now I'm rushing through the bush, shouting out, trying to find where he is, and I'm not finding him, so it's just getting worse and worse.
Hello?
All of a sudden, I received a phone call from a police officer. Hello, is that Sal? I said, yes, who's this? He goes, are you out fishing with a mate named Robbie? I said, yeah, I am. He goes, look, he's on the phone, the ambulance. He's finding it difficult to breathe and he thinks he's been bitten by something, but he doesn't know what it is. I'm like, oh my God. He asked me, where are you now? I said, well, I'm in the bush. I'm looking for my mate. The police officer said to me, well, I need you to try to get back to the boat. We're going to send the people out to look for you, to try to find you. And I said to the police, look, you're telling me my mate's been bitten by something, he's finding it hard to breathe. The last thing I'm going to do is want to go back to the boat. I hung up and I was just screaming out, Robbie, Robbie, Robbie. But all I could hear was an echo. All I could hear was my echo. There was no reply. I feel helpless. I was scared that my best friend was dying. I received another call from the police officer. He said, look, to help us try to find you and try to get to your friend ASAP, we need you to walk back to the boat and if you've got a flare or if you've got anything, just get back to the boat because we're going to send a helicopter out to look for you guys. As I'm walking back, I think to myself, where do I go? Do I go left? Do I go right? I know I've turned around and I'm walking back, but I don't know which way to walk now. I'm lost. I'm panicking. I didn't want to get bitten by something as well, then they'd probably never find us.
Woke up in the ambulance for like 30 seconds. I was scared. I thought that I'm never gonna see my dad again. All the people that I'm gonna miss growing up with. And then everything just goes black. This is it. I don't want it to end like this.
Got to the children's hospital. It was late at night. There was nobody else in the hospital. Terry Patterson said he's been in surgery for 3 hours. There's 4 doctors in there looking after him right now. And I thought to myself, 4 doctors? and he's been here for 3 hours. What's going on? What did the cougar do to my son? What happened? We're all just sitting around there crying. Let him be healthy. Just let him be able to get on with life. I just want Colton to grow up and be a good man. The wait was incredibly painful.
It was horrible. It was horrible. I didn't know what to even expect. I was so scared. The only thoughts that I had at that time was shutting my eyes and watching the kids ride their motorbikes again.
And then finally, the nurse comes around the corner and starts walking towards me. I'm dreading what she might have to say to me. It was like, I almost didn't want to hear it. It was horrific.
As time goes by, I'm just getting more worried and more worried. Up to my thighs in mud and water, and I've got cobwebs all over me. I'm just brushing off. All of a sudden, I can just see the lights on the boat. I've got back to the boat. I found the flare. At least now they can see exactly where I am, so I can try to direct them to where I think Robbie is. I can hear a helicopter. I couldn't see it yet, but I could hear it. When I got rescued by the police, they set up generators with big floodlights through the bush. Now I could actually see what I was walking through. Countless spiders everywhere. You can't count. Everywhere. They were everywhere. I was just walking through this.
When I arrived at the river, first thing I saw was lights, ambulance lights, police, rescue crew. Everywhere. It looked bad. That's when I started thinking, oh my God, is he alive? The police were pushing me back and they were like, please, don't come in. Calm down, everything will be all right. We're doing the best we can. But it wasn't enough. What if he's still alive, and what if I can find him before they do, before it's too late?
Two police officers reassured me, look, we found your friend. He's not doing too well. Paramedics all around him. He's in a state of shock. I was on my knees reassuring him that, he's going to be okay and he's in good hands, and just trying to comfort him as much as I can. I felt like I was to blame in a way. I thought, why did I let him go? I should have not let him go. We should have just called for help. We went out fishing. It turned into this, and it might mean Robbie losing his life.
Arriving at the hospital, Not being able to go in and just sitting in the waiting room was really hard. And I know my big brother's not going to come back home with us. Every minute just felt like forever, just waiting and waiting and waiting. I was just thinking, is something bad happening in there? Are they, trying to revive him? Is he alive? My brother Robbie means the world to me, and I don't know what I would do without him.
I woke up, I'm in this room and everything's white and there's all these nurses and doctors. Just a surreal feeling. I just couldn't believe it. It was like I was dreaming. It took a few seconds to kick in, what was going on around me, and then I started to slowly picture back and remember what had happened. And I'm not in that forest anymore, in the bush, lying there, dying. I'm breathing. There's people there to help me. My arm was 3 times its natural size. It was blown up like a balloon on the side. Another nurse came, which is experienced in bites, said it's definitely a redback spider. Very lucky, but very silly as well to be out in that time in the river, and making that decision to walk through the bushland. It was a mistake to do that. I could have been dead. I felt really lucky. I just couldn't believe that I've been given a second chance.
The doctors let us know that he was okay and that we could go in to see him. That was like big relief. Seeing his face light up as soon as he seen us was the best feeling of my life. Thank God he's still alive, and thank God he's all in one piece. And I told him, don't do that ever again.
It's a major relief that he's still alive, that he survived.
I feel really lucky that I'm still alive, and it's like a new lease of life for me. So Sal and I still go out fishing as we used to. However, we're a bit more careful, and we have a golden rule now. So if there's no sun, we don't go fishing.
I see the nurse coming around the corner, looking at her face, hoping to see anything. She walks up to me and she kind of nods to me. He's out of surgery, he's in recovery. Would you like to see him? And it was like, wow. She swung the door open, and I immediately walked quick over to my son. All I could see is not even half of his face. Colton was cut from his forehead all the way down around here, and his scalp was actually pulled back, and both of his ears were tore open, and he had 5 scratches down the side of his neck. They put in over 300 stitches on his face and his head. But it was a wonderful sight. It was a beautiful sight to see him alive.
When I open my eyes, I see a bright light, and I think I'm in heaven. But when I see my dad, I realize that I survived. I was over the limit of being happy. I was over the top.
The most precious thing in the world, he wakes up and he gives us a smile. The first thing he does when he wakes up, with one eye and a goofy little smile out of one corner of his mouth that's not taped up. It was like, wow, what a kid.
When I first saw him, I was just like, oh my God, this poor child. I can't believe he's alive. You know, Colton is going to be okay. He's going to have scars. He's going to have lots of scars, but he's going to be okay.
He says, Dad, am I going to have scars? And I go, oh, yeah. You're going to have lots of scars, Colton. And I says, you know what's good about that? And he goes, what could be good about scars? I says, chicks love scars, Colton. Girls love boys with scars. And he goes, oh, right on.
I was happy that he was going to be okay. It was good to have him back.
He said to me, I'm glad the cougar attacked me and not Lara, and I love that little boy for that. That was an incredible thing he said. It was brave. It was very brave of him. He was alive, and that's what I wanted. It was quite a journey. Not a journey I would like to go through again.
I realized that my family means more to me because I've almost lost them once. And now that I've been given a second chance to live with them, I want to spend every moment with them. I used to think life was just like a video game. Every level gets a little bit harder. You get a certain amount of lives. You get 5, you get 10, you get 1 or 2. But after I got attacked, I'm like, I only have one life. I'm not gonna waste it.